Hi, this is this particular session is on the RMAN features, right? RMAN provides a lot of features, and as part of that, you have something called duplicate database, right? And this is mainly useful for people who wanted to duplicate the database from the test to the production, or production to a test, or whichever way you want, right? And it allows the user, the team, to the DBA to replicate or duplicate the database in the same server or to a remote server. And also it allows you to do the duplication as using an active database, that is the image copies of the data files, or using the backup, right, the recent backup or whatever it is. And so here is what we are going to look do it, and I have given you the details about the host machine and that is the source or the local machine, or the destination or the auxiliary. So the source, the database is also called the target, and the where you wanted to duplicate is called the it's called the destination or the auxiliary, right? And so this is the current setup for the current database, and you can run on you can query your database using the already provided SQL scripts. So this will help you in looking into the DBID, instance, archive logs, redo logs, data files, everything you can see. They are all pre-programmed scripts. So the first thing what you have to do is the setting up the network configuration, and this test DB1 is the source database or the target database here, and the TNS entry is already there. So if you want to, you can do a ping using the TNS ping, or you can use a database connectivity using the SQL plus and ensure that. And the next thing what you need to do is preparing the auxiliary database. So what you can do is you can create the password file for the auxiliary database, or you can copy the existing any of the password files and then give a name accordingly. So in our case we can straight away create. The only thing is the password has to be the same. We'll try to maintain the same password for the auxiliary instance also, right? And it will be stored on the directory called home oracle home/dbs. And the network configuration for the auxiliary thing, and the auxiliary instance name is the auxiliary db1, and so the service name is db1.world, and it's almost you can copy and paste whatever there in the test db1, and then you change the service name. I think that's it. It will solve the problem for you. And you can do a do a TNS ping, whether you can reach it or what. And then you go to the listener, and this is the one we are going to the ArcsDB1 is the one we are going to create. So what we can do is we need to set up a manual registration, right? It's something like registering the database entry from the listener, because in the database creation part, it will take the database gets created whenever you do the duplicate thing. So till then you wanted to connect it, so we will do a static registration entry for the database. So the listener will have an it'll be pointing for any waiting for any request to happen. So here is what it happens. This is the lines, you can just copy and paste it, and that SID you need to have for every listener. Suppose you have a different listener, then you'll have a different this thing, and you'll have that SID description for AuxDB1, and the next maybe when you are trying to do one more exercise where you'll have AuxDB2, so you can have the second entry. So this entry you need to copy and paste it there. So this is what in the blue color, and once that is done, you can start the listener. So then you can check the status of the listener, whether that is running, whether the listener is listening this AuxDB1 service, and you can do a TNS ping, and even if you want, you can do a SQL database connectivity. Once that is done, you create the directory structures. Here all the directory structures for the dump directories, audit data, and database, data files, and flash recovery area, archive files, all that we can do it. So in this exercise, once the pre activity is done, we have to put the auxiliary database in a no mount mode. So it can be done in a 2-stage. See, we don't have the SP file, server parameter file as of now. So without a server parameter file, you can't start you can't mount the database. No more, you can't do the this thing, start up the instance. So what you can do a forcing that start the instance in a no mount mode. So assuming that the SP file will be brought in as part of the duplication process. So you can give startup force and no mount, right? So it says this is what the file I am trying to expect, but that file is not there, and it tries to put in you the default FGA, right? So the only thing is you need to set up the Oracle SID, and then the target, connect as a target and do it. So once this is done, you can check the status of the listener, and even you can see you can do that query that pmon, right, ps minus f grep pmon, so that will give you the current processes. So once it is done, then we'll go to the another terminal, so where you can do that. You configure the SID in another terminal, then you say RMAN, connect to the RMAN as a target, as the source of the target database, and auxiliary is the destination database. So you can give AuxDB1, and the target database is the testDB1, and here is the command, right? So duplicate target database to AuxDB1 from active database. So this is syntax you can give it, and all the whatever following, right, all that's part of the SP file, creating the SP file automatically based on the data coming from the target database or the source database. So here what we do, we just give some conversion parameters, that testDB1, wherever you find the converted AuxDB1, and I have the DB file name convert exactly. If I wanted to see whatever the directory structure coming for the data file from the target source database, and what should be there for the target database. Suppose if the database is residing in multiple locations, then you should give both, all, right? Similarly for the log files, and where the control file should sit, and what is the DB name, and the archive log destination, all you should do it. So once that is done, and you see that the very important thing is the the target database will be connected in the proper way, and the system will show you the DB ID, but ensure that the auxiliary database which is connecting it shows the no mount mode. So once that is done, then you can copy and paste the above script, and the recovery process starts, and here is the RMAN log, right? So RMAN does a huge amount of activity, and what it does, it uses in this case, it changes the locations for the file names, and for the new data files, and it is setting all the environment variables required for that. So once that is done, then it gives you the it tries to arrives at the new file name for the data files with the new location, the way we specified, and it does the data file copy. So this is very important thing. If you are using the active database, the exact data file is getting moved from over the network. So this will lead to a huge amount of data traffic. So you have to be careful when you are saying active database, right? So once that is done, then Oracle does the balance activity, right, and it tries to bring in the instance, auxiliary instance, right, and finally the database is opened in a reset log modes, and you can go inside and then query whatever data you want, right? So in this case, the database, you can open the database in a in a restricted mode, and some of the table spaces, if you don't want, you can skip, or if there is any read-only table spaces, you can, if you don't want some of the read-only table spaces, you can skip those table spaces, right? So, and finally you can query, you can connect to your the duplicate database and query and find out whether the DBID got changed when connected, when compared to the original one, and the balance, I'm giving the scripts for converting the data or clearing the auxiliary data. If at all, if you want, you can use it, right? Okay, so fine. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any queries, you can mail it to this mail ID.